Today, we are tearing into one of crypto's most talked about and, yeah, most controversial platforms, Pump.fun. We're going to get into the anatomy of a truly wild price storm and a market comeback that, let me tell you, was absolutely not an accident.
You see, the recent explosion in Pump.fun's success wasn't some quiet, steady growth. Nope, it was a very deliberate, high-stakes, all-or-nothing move. So the real question we have to ask is, how does a platform actually go about manufacturing a comeback like this and kick off a price storm that sweeps the entire market? So first, let's just wrap our heads around the scale we're dealing with here. Since it launched, Pump.fun has pulled in a staggering $808 million in revenue. This is not some small-time operation. This is a financial powerhouse, and that massive war chest they've built up, it's pretty much central to this entire story.
So what's the secret sauce? What's the engine behind all this? It's something called a bonding curve. Now, this isn't just some boring pricing tool. It's a psychological weapon. It basically hard-codes one simple, powerful rule. Every time someone buys, the price goes up. Period. This guarantees that if you get in early, you profit from everyone who comes after you. It perfectly, almost scientifically manufactures FOMO, that fear of missing out. They've literally turned the chaos of a meme coin launch into a product.
And I mean, just look at the results. They're kind of incredible. In just Q3 of 2025, we're talking millions in revenue every single day and a jaw-dropping $50 billion in trading volume for the month. To put it another way, they're not just a player in the Solana meme coin market. With almost 74% market share, they are the market. But here's the real twist in the story. This incredible surge, this total domination, it didn't just happen out of nowhere. Our analysis shows this was a meticulously planned, carefully executed business counterattack. And this, right here, is where the story of its price action gets really, really fascinating. You know, just a month earlier, in July, Pump.fun was basically on life support. A competitor, Let'sbonk.fun, had swooped in and grabbed nearly 2/3 of the entire market. They were on the ropes. But by the middle of August, the tables hadn't just turned, they were completely flipped upside down. Pump.fun's revenue went through the roof, while its rivals it completely collapsed.
And this visual just shows you the insane scale of that reversal. Look at that flip. In the span of just a few weeks, Pump.fun went from being the underdog to the absolute king of the hill. This wasn't a gentle shift. It was a brutal, hostile takeover of market dominance. So the big question is, how did they do it? Their comeback plan was basically a three-pronged attack. First, they launched a project to lure creators back with better incentives. Second, they took that massive war chest and started aggressively buying back their own token. And third, they went for the big leagues, securing a major listing on Binance to bring in a flood of new money.
Let's zero in on those buybacks, because the number is just breathtaking. Pump.fun spent over $84 million buying its own token right off the open market. This was a massive, brute force move designed to create an artificial floor under the price and just completely absorb any and all selling pressure.
But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. This buyback program is basically a money furnace. On-chain data shows the platform is spending about 102% of its daily revenue just to keep these buybacks going. Let me say that again because it's wild. They're spending more money buying back their own token than the entire platform is earning. Now, this strategy was obviously super effective for the price, but it begs a pretty critical question. How long can you keep burning more cash than you make every single day? It's clearly not sustainable forever. So what's the next move? How do you turn off this engine without crashing the car?
Well, according to their official roadmap, the plan is to pivot toward adding real, actual utility. First, they want to roll out social features like copy trading to make the platform stickier. But the real game changer, the thing everyone is watching, is the plan for 2026, a full-on revenue-sharing model that kicks back platform fees to the people who hold the token.
And this, right here, is the core of their whole long-term plan. Revenue sharing would be a massive shift. It's an attempt to turn the Pump token from something you just bet on, a purely speculative asset, into something that actually earns you money, a productive asset that generates real yield from the platform's success.
And the ambition doesn't stop there. The founders have gone on record saying their goal isn't just to be another crypto app. No, they want to compete with mainstream Goliaths like YouTube and Twitch. It's a huge vision that tries to leapfrog from being a meme coin casino to a full-blown entertainment platform. Okay, So that's the comeback story, the grand vision. But underneath all that glamour, there's a minefield of pretty serious risks. We're talking legal, economic, and security threats that could blow this whole thing up.
The biggest, scariest monster in the room is the legal one. There's a class action lawsuit seeking a mind-boggling $5.5 billion in damages. The accusation? That Pump.fun is operating as an illegal casino. This isn't just about paying a fine. This is an attack on the legality of their entire business model.
And then you get to the core paradox of the whole platform. They market themselves as the home of fair launches, but a third-party analysis found that a shocking 98% of the tokens launched on the platform have traits of being fraudulent pump-and-dump schemes. It's a massive gap between the slick marketing and what's actually happening to users.
And look, these aren't simple scams. We're seeing some pretty sophisticated stuff, like wash trading with bots to fake volume or cloned contracts to trick people. The founders have even admitted that so-called soft rug pulls, where a developer just waits for the peak and dumps all their tokens on the buyers, are incredibly hard for them to stop.
So, what does this all mean for the price of the token? Well, in the short term, the momentum is powerful. The comeback story combined with the brute force of those buybacks could keep things going. But long term, it's a massive question mark. The current model that's propping up the price is completely unsustainable. Everything, and I mean everything, hinges on whether they can successfully pivot to a new model while trying to navigate all those giant legal risks.
And so that really leaves us with the ultimate question here. What is Pump.fun really? Is it just a much more efficient, maybe fairer casino that has perfected the art of gamifying speculation? Or does it actually have a shot at breaking out of that box and becoming the next big mainstream platform? The answer to that is going to determine whether this whole price storm was just a temporary squall or the beginning of a whole new climate.